Recording.
Okay.
All right. And we're going to hit live to go live streamed. Oh, it does not give me permission to live stream. Why, technology? Why? Why you do this to me every time? Every time.
It's not working.
It's not working. Yeah. So you know what? We're just gonna start, and I'll direct people to the Zoom link if they want to join, and we'll upload it to the live stream later on. Sound good?
For Facebook, yeah. To you.
Yeah. So welcome, beautiful people. My name is Zoe. Thank you for showing up to this Shine session where I'm really, really excited to introduce to you to Danna, who is one of my dear, dear friends and also one of the most gorgeous, powerful, and really just in tune facilitators and healers that I know. Whenever I've had the pleasure of doing a session with Danna, it's always been like, whoop, okay, like, let's do this. So she's here to share a couple of really powerful techniques that can support us in our trauma responses. And right now we're in a moment in the world where we're all experiencing some level of trauma in real time. So Danna is here to support us through that. Without further ado, I hand it over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me in this time. I'm honored, super honored to be here and just share a few simple things that people can do on their own. Do try this at home, techniques that can freshen them up as needed. Because these days it seems as if every single day there's some sort of, it would be extremely helpful if there was some sort of tool to fall back on, some sort of vocabulary that every single human has to be able to facilitate their own healing. And I'm a big proponent of that. For many, many years, it was just like, okay, like how can I help people heal with hypnosis? And now it's like, how can everyone be their own hypnotist? How can everyone just know certain tools? Like, how are we not all human beings aware of how to emotionally help ourselves? So these are a couple tools, very basic, very simple, that take them home with you, share them with your family and friends. Anyone, anywhere can do these, and they'll be very helpful. I was thinking what could be nice before we get started is to just breathe a little bit together, because I think worldwide we are overwhelmed by what's happening in the world. And it's extreme. So I think with that overwhelm, I think it's actually giving it a moment of breathing, a moment of even just connecting to yourself with quiet, can also be extremely helpful, instead of talking so much at it. So I'd love to just, with everyone on the call and everyone being live streamed, that we do a little breathing technique. I was doing it with Zoe before the call. And so it's going to be a couple minutes just to connect all of us, and then we'll get more into the techniques. So go ahead, close your eyes, and we'll get started, and I'll do it with you guys. So we'll start by taking a deep breath into your heart and letting it go. And then you want to take a deep breath of golden light into your heart and let it go. We'll take a deep breath of golden light into your heart and hold it for 5 seconds. So taking a deep breath of golden light. 5, and let it go. So now what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to imagine as if that golden light has a vessel inside of you. So you can imagine as a vessel, as a cup, as a jar inside of you. And that vessel, if it has cracks from things you've experienced in life, if it has holes, if it has little fissures in it, breathe down as if there's a golden light coming from above and breathe it into that vessel. So breathe it in, and whatever cracks need to be filled, you can allow that golden light to fill it. So just breathe it in down into your belly and breathe out, calming your nervous system. Breathe in and breathe out. And allowing that golden paint to fill that cup, fill that vessel, and allowing it to overflow. Take your time. It might not overflow yet, but just allow that golden light from above to come in into your belly, into that cup, and allow it to fill any holes. Just can use your imagination or just sense it, that golden paint, even if you have a big, big vessel that needs a lot to fill it, just allow that golden light to fill that cup and heal those cracks. Good. And as that light comes down into that vessel within you, allow it to overflow if it's ready for that. Allow it to overflow, fill it up, and allow it to begin to overflow. And as it overflows into your nervous system, into your veins, and that golden light from above goes into that cup, overflows into your veins and into your nervous system, filling it with that golden paint. And just keep breathing. Breathe it in. And allow that golden light from above to go into that cup. Allow the cup to overflow into the rest of you, your veins, your nerves, and allow the rest of that flow of light to come into that cup, into you, and then go down through your legs into the ground as if it's creating these roots, deep like oak tree roots, down, down, down into the ground. And just breathe in that paint or that light. So breathing in that light, it goes into you, into that vessel, filling up that vessel, overflowing your vessel, filling all those cracks into your veins, into your nervous system, down, 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 down into the ground, creating roots. And now you can see all of our roots, even the roots of the world, just grow with that light. Big, strong oak tree roots. Your light matches with the light from above into your body and becomes this powerful tree. And then we all connect together, increasing the light of the world simply just by being the light. Good job. So now just breathe golden light into your heart again and hold it for 5 seconds. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in golden light to your heart and breathe out and breathe in and let it go. And in a moment, I'm going to count you up from 1 to 3. You'll be fully awake and fully aware, feeling more rested, more at ease. But just for now, let's just give ourselves one moment to just kind of be with this. Okay, 1, you're starting to feel your surroundings. 2, any noise is coming back online. And 3, your muscles are coming back in, and feel free to, whenever you're ready, to open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good job. Okay, so that little meditation took 5 minutes. And if something like that were to be done daily, you can just connect to your light on purpose, allow your nervous system, your circulatory system, your body, your soul, all to be aligned within 5 minutes, and you become the light. One of my newest advocacies is that, again, not even to work with a healer or work with a therapist, you just become the light. There's certain tools that you can use with ease to take home. So in our time together, let's do it. Let's do first rapid healing technique. This happened the other day when, after everything happened, I felt frozen. So there's a couple responses when you have trauma, when you go through shock. There's fight, flight, and freeze. So fight is when you have an immediate reaction to something. You go in for it. Flight is the avoidance, right, of danger. And freeze, which happens more often than not, is you can't do anything. Your whole body just is frozen. There's no response. Your shock overwhelms you. So for about a week and a half, I was frozen. I couldn't process. I couldn't move. I felt like I got punched in the stomach. I'm sure you can all relate. And I realized that there was just so much information overload in my emotional awareness, in my mental state, that I couldn't move. That's what shock does. That's what shock and trauma does, and especially a big trauma, right? This is something overloading the system. So when something like that happens, it's important to pull it apart, right? So if you're saying, like, if you're feeling shocked, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling overloaded, more often than not, you're experiencing all the emotions at once, right? So if you break it apart, you can notice, okay, I'm feeling fearful. I'm feeling confused. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling whatever the extra feeling is, okay? So when I first was feeling into all this, I couldn't move because there was one big laundry pile of an experience, rather than sifting through things so you can actually move forward. And I actually do believe what happened was purposeful, to traumatize the world into being frozen. So people can't respond, they can't move, they become slow and become sluggish. So with that aside, let's unfreeze so we can be the light we're meant to be. So first things first, name the emotion. So what does that mean? So you're feeling this whole load of experience, and just become aware. You're aware of, okay, let's say the biggest one first, the heaviest one first is confusion. So we can even do it together now. So pick up on that first feeling. If it's confusion, if it's whatever it is, pick up on it and just give it 30 seconds. Give it a minute of recognition. Just recognize, okay, the heaviest one I'm experiencing right now is confusion. So just tune into that feeling. Tune into that feeling of confusion first. So it doesn't matter how many things you're experiencing. If it's like this snowball of big thing, the first things first, we're going to pull it apart and we're going to feel the confusion first. So even if you're not feeling confused, that's a good thing. If you're not feeling it right now, let's just draw it up. Okay. So just the feeling of confusion. So give it 30 seconds and just notice it's a sensation. It's energy, emotion. They call energy in motion. That's what emotion is, energy in motion. So let's give it motion. So feel the confusion let's give it 20 seconds. And if you can feel it in your belly or you feel it like physical sensations, give it a little breathing room. You don't have to go so deep into it. You just notice it. And you can breathe with it. So you'd play with that until it lightens up, just that feeling specifically, right? We're unpacking it. And then let's say there's fear, the fear response. Let's say that's the second thing that you're noticing. Okay, I'm feeling fearful. So give that 30 seconds. And again, when you have the time and the space to do it, of course, and you can give it as long as it needs. But again, it's not about being overwhelmed by it or washed by the mixed emotions. It's just allowing them to be. So you'd feel fear. So let's give that 20 seconds. You can feel it in your nervous system. And just breathe into it, kind of slow it down. So now we're developing a vocabulary. So we're getting out of the confusion and the bigness of the experience, and we're defining it. We're saying, okay, this is that. And we're able to be with it and manage it. So let's say the next experience is a bit of sadness, right? And each one is individual. Experiences are difficult. So then sadness or aggravation, or you give it 20 seconds. Okay. And again, if you were to do this on your own, I would give it full space. If it's a few minutes, whatever you have the patience for, but breathe into it, allow it to have its life. And so when you break it down and are able to pinpoint, this is this, this is this, compartmentalize, this is this, all of a sudden your body is not frozen anymore. You don't have to be like a zombie to the experience. So that's just cleaning up your emotional, energetic very quickly. Okay. And again, if you need further help, you can always ask. I see I'm running low on time. I do have another I would like to teach. Oh, up to you. Yeah. And if you want to write in the chat, if there's any questions or anything in the chat, feel free to write it. I do want to, honor our time too, but does that make sense? If you want to write yes in the chat, pulling things apart, allowing them to have their space, allows the brain to function again. Okay, perfect. So it makes sense. So that's a very simple technique. You don't need anyone to do it. You can do it every day if you want to. Okay. If you want to give yourself 5 minutes a day to just be like, this is this, this is this, this is this. And then I would say at the end, on purpose, amazing. On purpose, at the end, I would say, fill your body with a good experience. Fill your body with breath again. Fill your body with a good energy. Okay, so you kind of clean it up. Yes, that's it. It's like transforming chaos to order. Perfect. I love that way of putting it, because initially trauma and shock, and we could talk about trauma for a long, long time, but this tiny, tiny, simple technique is organizing the chaos. Okay. Yeah, that totally sums it up in a perfect way. Transforming chaos into order in our own emotional world. And you can do it by yourself. Awesome. Okay. So, and if you have to go, you have to go. And that's perfect. So we're going to do, and thank you so much for coming. So second technique is an NLP technique. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. And it was developed by Richard Bandler. And you're welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Yay. And basically he studied therapists that were effective. There's many people, many therapists, and they weren't getting what they wanted out of people, which is an effective feeling better, getting healthier. And so there was a handful of therapists that he studied, and he developed this technique called neuro-linguistic programming, which is like hijacking different types of therapy. It's basically, I call it waking state hypnosis. And there's a handful of techniques that really quickly clean up your inner world. So it's a variation of what they call the movie theater technique that you can do whenever you need it, any day, or picture frame. Okay. So the first thing you do is, let's say you go through an experience. And I just want to say this about trauma. Trauma is something that has happened to you that is continually playing in your mind. and has not processed yet. You can effectively get over anything. The only thing is no one really taught us how to process. So when you experience trauma, it's a memory now. Even if you, God forbid, experienced something yesterday, you can get over it today. That doesn't mean you will, right? Because sometimes things take time. But the problem is unprocessed memories. Okay. So this is a really easy way to process things. So what you do is you imagine a picture frame. So let's say something happened and you can put in the picture frame that thing. All right. So let's say you have something happen to you. Let's just use like a middle ground, something. You had an argument with your friend last week and you feel really upset by it and it's very charged. So in the picture frame, you basically put the experience. So the first thing you want to notice is how close is this picture frame to me? Is it up here? Am I like surrounded by it? Is it all over me? The whole thing is this one thing? Is it farther away from me? Is it this big? Is it tiny? Is it small? If it's a traumatic experience, most likely it'll be big because your brain is overloaded by it. So what we want to do is we want to play with the dimensions. So what happens? Let's say I got in this fight. I'm overwhelmed by it. The first thing I would do is see the picture frame in front of me. I'm like, oh, wow, I see it. It's vivid. It's full force. I can feel the energy behind it. What I want to do is I want to make it smaller, minimize it, neutralize it. So we can even do it together. So let's pick something middle ground, okay? And first things first, I want you to see the picture frame. So put a picture frame in front of you, let it be blank, just a picture frame. And now I want you to place something that has emotional charge in that frame. Okay, take a moment. And now what I want, or what would be nice to do, is get a sense to, is it close to you? Is it farther away from you? Most likely it's probably pretty close and pretty big. So the first thing I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to distance yourself from it. That's the first big thing, is you want to distance yourself from the experience. So distance the picture frame from you. So let's say if it's right in front of you, like let's put it a couple feet away. Distance yourself from the picture frame. You might already start to feel it's kind of getting, it's loosening its grip. Put it away from you. Okay. And now I want you to, if it's in color, I want you to make it black and white. And if there's any sounds, I want you to turn the volume down. And if there's any motion, if it's like a movie, make it a picture. Like it loses its motion. So now it's far away from you. It's black and white. There's minimal sound and it stopped. Okay. This next step, what I like to do, which is kind of going more in the hypnotic way of, or unconscious energetic, is what I like to do with this particular program is I like to pretend that all my emotions from my heart are leaving my heart, just for this circumstance, are leaving my heart, going through my hands, like leaving my heart, going into my shoulder, going through my hands into the frame. So I'm effectively feeling the experience, letting it discharge, go through my hand, through my shoulder, through my hand into the frame. So I no longer have the emotional charge anymore. It is, in fact, it belongs to the picture frame. I've disassociated from it. I've disconnected. So go ahead, do that now. Take your time, whatever emotions going on, allow it to kind of come through your heart, through your shoulder, through your hand. And now you can give it to the picture frame. Kind of let it ooze out of you or loosen up and go into the picture frame. And as it goes into the picture frame, as it lightens the load on your body, on your psyche, on your awareness, you're going to allow the picture frame to own it now. And now what's going to happen is the picture frame is going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink, shrink and shrink and shrink until it's the size of a little stamp or a little red balloon or even like a little boat. And you're just going to see it float away or drift away. And let it go. And like if it's a balloon, let it just go up into the clouds, up into space, lightening up. Okay. That is a technique you can do. We just did that in 3 minutes. Obviously, if you have more time, you can use your time with it. If it's a very heavy emotional one, you really want to let your heart feel it, let it drain through you, and then release it. So what does that do? Basically, what we did is we neutralized. So something that had a lot of energy, a lot of emotional charge, a lot of reactivity, we made it black and white. We took the motion out of it. We took the sound out of it, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to put up the picture frame. You want to put the instance in the picture frame. You want to distance yourself from it. And oftentimes, let's say it's something graphic, God forbid something, what I would do is I would turn the picture frame all the way to white. Turn it, you don't even have to like see the vision anymore, just turn it all the way to white. And then shrink it, put your emotion into it. You have effectively processed your emotions, and then let it fly away. And that's it. If there's any questions, you can feel free to post them in the chat. Again, I'm super honored to be here. These are 2 simple, basic techniques that you can put in your back pocket to remember if you ever need them, find them. And my wish is thank you so much for being here. You're welcome so much. And my wish is that everyone across the world can take ownership of their own emotional worlds, learn a couple techniques, be the light that you're meant to be, and that we may all support each other on being that light. And yeah, thank you so much.
Amen, sister. Thank you, Danna. That was amazing. I'm gonna be sending a lot of picture frames these days.
Yes, whatever you need to do.
Sharing a lot of picture frames. So thank you so much for those techniques. I already feel more centered and more calm and more grounded. And I hope everyone who's with us today and everyone who watches carries these with you and keeps these tools in your toolbox. And yeah, may we all take personal responsibility for our emotions and learning how to manage and make some order out of this chaos.
Amen.
Amen. So
Thank
time's
you.
up. Yeah. Thank you, Danna. I love you. Thank you all for being here. Hearts and love. Hearts and love. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. See you. Bye.
Bye.